Hi y'all, Connie here. Let's do some front post treble crochets. All right, so here I have a swatch of just some double crochets, and I've switched colors because I think it'll be easier for you to see. And I've got just 2 double crochets here, all right? So if we were going to do another double crochet, we would insert our hook here, right? But let's say we've got some texture going on, and instead of working into the top of this stitch, we're going to work a front post treble crochet around the body of this stitch, or the post of this stitch instead. So a treble crochet is yarn over twice, and then you insert your hook not into the top of the stitch, but around the body of it, or the post. Okay, so your working yarn is going to kind of come over the top here. You're going to yarn over, pull that loop all the way around it and back to the front. And then for a treble crochet, you're going to have 4 loops on your hook, and then you complete it as normal by yarning over and pulling through 2, 3 times. Okay, so there is a front post treble crochet. Now let's say we're going to do another double crochet. And let's do another front post treble, all right? So yarn over twice, insert your hook, not into the top, but around the post. So you insert your hook from the front to the back, around the body of the stitch, and then out from the back towards the front again. Yarn over, so grab your yarn and pull it around the back side of that post into the front. And make sure when you do it, remember to slide your loops down. Don't let them get choked up on the neck of the hook here and make it too tight. And when I'm doing treble crochets, especially post stitches like this, I like to keep a finger on the loops here to help keep it from getting all stretched out and kind of gangly. So here we're ready to complete our treble crochet as normal. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you see how I'm keeping my finger on the loops there. That helps keep them from getting too far stretched out. All right, so let's do one more here. A regular double crochet, and we'll do a front post treble crochet around this one. All right, yarn over twice, front to back, out the front again, yarn over, pull up a loop all the way back around the front, slide it down, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so there are our front post treble crochets. And then we will finish this out with a couple doubles. And let's turn it around and let's do a couple more. All right, so I'm going to do a chainless double here instead of a turning chain. And now let's look. So here, this is where we worked around the body or the post of those stitches, right? And then right here, coming behind, so this is the top of the stitch, right? We did not work into the top of the stitch, we worked around the post of the stitch, and so that's why you see the top of the stitch here behind it. All right, so if we wanted to do another front post treble crochet, we would not work into the top, we're going to come down here and we're going to work around the body of it. All right, so yarn over twice, make sure we've got the right stitch here so you can identify the top and then find its post, insert from front to back, and then out to the front again, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through twice, 3 times. Okay, and then we'll do a double crochet in the next double crochet, and then we'll do another front post treble. And then a double crochet and another front post treble. Okay, so that would be working the trebles on top of the trebles, right? So let's do one more row, and I'll show you all, here my yarn is caught up with me. We'll go all the way across with the front post trebles. Now typically you won't see a post stitch on the very end because then it kind of gets loopy and out to the side. But now we can do front post trebles all the way across here. And again, right here, that you can't see it as well anymore because it's a different, or it's the same color, but that's our front post treble on the other side, right? And so looking at it from this side, it's a back post stitch, right? I know it can be confusing, but just go with it, all right? All right, so here's our double. There's our post stitch, double post, and then our last 2 doubles. All right, so let's do front post treble crochets all the way across. So this is our first stitch here. We're going to go around our next one. So there's 1, 2, 3. And so see, they're just stacking up right next to each other. So see, they look pretty similar to a regular stitch, but you're going to, whoops, we're doing trebles here. You're going to get a slightly different fabric because you're adding in that dimension, right? So here we are to our last stitch. This is where using a stitch marker would come in handy so that you don't miss your last stitch, especially when the side of it kind of or the top of it turns around on the side there. And then a double crochet in that stitch. All right, so here's our little row of front post treble crochets, right, all the way across. And then if you look at them on the back, check this out. You see this line that runs all the way across, and that's because we worked all of those stitches around the posts instead of into the tops. And so you can create some really cool texture with post stitches. Let me show you real quick how you would do ribbing with a back post. Okay, so we would do front post, and then we would do a back post. To do a back post, instead of going from the front to the back and out the front again, you go from the back to the front, around the post the same way before, and then out the back side. You yarn over and you pull it through, and you complete your stitch as normal. Okay, here's our next stitch. We're going to front post again. And then a back post is just the opposite. You go in from the back to the front, and then out the back again. Yarn over and pull that loop all the way around, and then complete your stitch. All right, just a couple more here. There's our front post treble and our back post treble. Whoops, yarn over twice, front post treble, and then our very last stitch would be a double crochet because it's worked into the top of the stitch, not all the way down into that other row. So let's see. There we go. This is a wild looking little swatch now, isn't it? All right, so here are our front post stitches, and these are our back post stitches, but you'll notice that they look pretty much the same on either side. So if you flip this over, then these look like front post stitches, right? Because they are popping to what is now facing you, the front of this fabric, right? So if you were to do several rows of that, if you wanted to do a ribbing, for example, then you could stack those stitches up on top of each other. So this one from this side is a back post. This one is a front post. So we would do a back post on top of that one so that that ribbing stacks on top, right? And then we would do a front post on this one, which is popping to the front. And then we would continue on in the same way, doing the back, oops, and then the front. My yarn is getting old. I've used it for many tutorials. I'm going to have to order myself some new yarn for new tutorials. Okay, and here we are at the end, and again we're going to do a double crochet because we don't need that height of the treble. And so here, now your stitches are stacked up on top of each other. With a treble, it's more open than a double crochet would be, so I probably wouldn't use the treble crochet as a ribbing, Because of that, it looks more like three-dimensional mesh, right? But that could be a fun stitch for a blanket because you'd have lots of nice little air pockets in there. So I bet that even though it looks kind of mesh-like, this would be a super warm stitch to use for a blanket. And then, like I said, that's just 2 rows of stacking up like post stitches. So if it looks like it's a front post, do a front post on top of it. If it looks like it's a back post, do a back post on it. Okay? So that is a quick look at a variety of ways that you can use front post treble crochets. And we started way down here, right? These were our very first ones that we did. And then you also get this pop of color. So if you can imagine using this technique changing colors, you get some pretty funky looking color work that is not as hard as it might look like because you're just doing back and forth rows, right? But if you're changing colors or if you have a color shifting yarn, then you can use that to your advantage with post stitches and get some really cool color effects. Okay, I'm done yakking at you about this. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.